Even though the global warming bill failed in the state legislature, the fight will continue over the renewable portfolio standard, which would require 25% of all energy in Wisconsin come from renewable sources by 2025. The Office of Energy Independence is still looking for ways to make that happen.
Our office was created by executive order by Governor Doyle to achieve 25% renewable sources of energy, which includes electricity as well as liquid fuels, by 2025. So we understand that human conservation, energy efficiency projects, as well as renewable energy projects are all together going to make this possible. So that's still an executive order. We'll see how things play out over the next months or years, but that is still our goal as an office.
The Public Service Commission researched how much 25 by 25 would cost. Its results were criticized during the debate over the global warming bill.
The model itself is not controversial to the best of my knowledge. The inputs are always going to be disputed, the outputs are always going to be debated, but I think in terms of our choice of a model, there's no real issue there.
The PSC said ratepayers' bills would go up regardless of the state's energy policy, but 25 by 25 would lead to the smallest increase possible. That didn't make sense to a lot of people because it costs more to produce energy from renewable sources than fossil fuels, and the utilities would be collecting additional money from customers for energy efficiency programs.
The cost savings from the energy efficiency slightly outweighed the added cost from the renewable electricity.
Proves some of our biggest critiques and some of our biggest problems with the legislation. The renewable portfolio standard costs a tremendous amount of money. And we know from the utilities that it's going to cost at least $15 billion. Now, the energy efficiency piece does help mitigate that, which they have said. But again, the renewables piece is the biggest cost driver, and it's adding an additional billions when you don't need it.
That wasn't the only criticism the PSC faced during a roundtable Monday.
I was wondering what the model assumed about the utilities being able to get rate recovery for lost sales.
We didn't. The model, I don't believe the model goes that far. It's just estimating the costs to meet demand.
That legislation never had a serious cost containment provision provided in the legislation. They never had a circuit breaker to say this shuts down if the costs get too high. It was never even considered, not ever seriously. That is a major problem, and I think going forward, if this legislation ever does come forward again, it may be dead forever. If it does, I think at least a cost containment provision is in there, but they're going to have to look at other ways of slowing down the cost of the renewables mandate.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Bill Osmolsky.